In this mini series, guys, I'm going to be spotlighting all of the beautiful philodendron varieties that I have. And in this video, I'm going to be spotlighting this beauty, the Philodendron Golden Goddess. Mine has grown like crazy. This is definitely one of my favorites. And in this video, I'm going to be explaining why, if you don't yet have this philodendron variety, why it is such a great choice, a great addition to your plant family, and I'm going to be repotting it and a whole bunch, so definitely stay tuned. Hey guys, this is my Philodendron Golden Goddess. This thing is reaching nearly 6 feet tall. Now it's growing like crazy, and like I said in the intro in this video, I really want to share with you guys, highlight some of the great features which make this Philodendron Golden Goddess a great choice if you don't already have it in your plant collection and you're looking to add another philodendron. And obviously this thing has gotten so huge, I'm going to need to repot it. I'm going to be using some bigger, better, stronger stakes. And I want to also kind of review and highlight again some of the benefits of using and staking up philodendron, what that does for the plant and what that means. And of course, I'll be including all of the critical and crucial care tips, things you need to know in order to get your plant to thrive and flourish just like mine. Now, yeah, definitely one of my favorite philodendron currently at the moment. It's growing really, really quickly, and that's honestly one of the things I love about this variety of philodendron. It's a really quick grower. And yeah, let's jump into the repot and restake first, and then I can share some of and talk about some of the other things that I want to discuss in this video. So guys, luckily I have some of these 5-foot cedar stakes. They've got to be nearly, I don't know, I would say probably half an inch, a little bit larger in thickness, which is great, so super sturdy. I'm also going to be using this pot to repot this plant. It's got a built-in saucer, and let's see if I can show you. Really great drainage, a nice large drainage hole at the base. Which is great. And then I can also review some of the soil components in the soil mix that I'll be using. I want to repot this giant first so that I can get settled in its new home, and then we can talk about care tips and what amazing benefits there are to caring for Philodendron Golden Goddess, why I think it's a great choice, and just sort of spotlight this variety. Thanks for checking out this video. I'm Tyler. If you like what you're seeing or find this video useful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, or better yet, you can hit that subscribe button. Now, to really show me some love, click on the bell for alerts and notifications for future content. Oh yeah, don't forget to check out my merch page, tylermossop.com. So I'm going to be using this mix here to pot up and repot this beautiful philodendron. So in this bowl, I have about 3 parts of a orchid bark mix. I'm going to be using about 1 part of peat moss, 1 part of perlite, and 1 part of horticultural charcoal. Any great aeroid mix will do for these plants. So this just happens to be the mix that I'm using today, which will work great. So step number 1 will be to just remove all of the Velcro attachments and the stakes. Let this all kind of cascade down before repotting. Definitely probably a 2-person job, but I'm gonna quickly start by just removing, like I said, all of these little Velcro pieces that I use to attach the plant to the stakes. So wish me luck. Be right back. All right, so all the stakes are out, and as you can see, it's much less imposing, but there are a few things that I really want to highlight, the importance or the benefits of staking up philodendron. So as you can see, the leaves here at the top of the plant are much bigger, much larger than their smaller little relatives down at the bottom. And as well as the larger leaves, you can see that even the stalk and the stem is just much thicker and chunkier. And this all is a benefit of staking up a philodendron like this, because what that does is it allows the plant to mature and develop. And over time, as philodendron and this variety matures, the benefit is you get these bigger, much bigger leaves, and it's just really awesome. So if you're not staking your philodendron, you wouldn't see that maturity, and the leaves would stay relatively small, but over time they do get much bigger like this, which is crazy. So I'm really happy to have staked it, and I'm going to keep, keep it staked so that it can keep growing and getting bigger. All right, guys, so a couple tips when you're transplanting or repotting a house plant like this, some things that can be pretty useful. If you hold off on watering, which I forgot to, on your plant while it's in its original container, that can help just make things a little bit less messy and complicated when you're moving it. If you have a little bamboo stake like this, or even like a chopstick, you can kind of use that around the perimeter of the container to loosen up the soil, which also makes it easier to just kind of pick up the plant and transplant it. So yeah, just a couple of things that may be pretty helpful. I'm going to try to just pick this up, put it in, and then add the remaining soil mix around. I also do like to prefer to add my stakes once the plant is in the container with the soil mix. I just feel I get better stability if I do it that way and in that sequence. However, obviously you need to just be aware and conscientious of where the roots are and where the plant is, so that you're not destroying or damaging any of the root system when you're kind of impaling your container with its new stake. So the roots are looking really nice and healthy. It's quite a large root ball, which I would expect for a plant this size. Yeah, so managed to wiggle it out of its old container, and now I'm just going to position it in this new one. Like I said, add some remaining soil mix and then stake it up, and then we can discuss the benefits, not the benefits, but really why this makes such a great houseplant, and the care tips for the Philodendron Golden Goddess. All right, so we are almost there. I'm going to be carefully impaling or just inserting the stake, and there's no roots in this location in the container, which is great. All right, so that feels actually really stable, which is pretty good. Just kind of take a look, see how it's positioned, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna need two. I think one might do the trick, but yeah, I'm gonna add, I think, even a little bit more soil mix just to kind of stabilize this at the back, and then start to reattach. I also prefer to use, these are the little Velcro strips that I removed. So I'll reuse these when I'm attaching this plant back to the stake. And yeah, I think that's gonna take quite some time, so I'll do that off camera, and once it's all nicely staked up, I'll be right back. All right, so it's nicely staked up. I was able to be somewhat strategic, and in the way that I staked it up, it has become a little bit sort of wider or broader and a little bit less tall, which is buying me some more time before I need to do some other things like propagate or that type of thing. But I wanted to touch on specifically this variety, Philodendron Golden Goddess, why I think it's personally one of my favorite philodendron varieties. So I've touched on some of these things, like how quickly it grows. I love that. As it's maturing, once you have it staked up, the beautiful size of these mature leaves is absolutely stunning. And some of the other things that I really love about Philodendron Golden Goddess is, knock on wood, I've never had any pest issues related to this plant, so it's very, very easy care. I water this, and I'm gonna jump into some of the care tips, but there's no sort of, you know, worry about watering and some of the other conditions, which make it very easy care. And I just love this kind of neon, green, chartreuse, yellow kind of vibe that it has. It's just very unique. It stands out among my other philodendrons in terms of its coloration and my other houseplants as well. So I just really love that about it. And yeah, it's just kind of an amazing vining philodendron that just keeps on giving in terms of the color, like I said, and the size of the leaves as they get bigger. And those are definitely some of the things I would spotlight or highlight when it comes to the Philodendron Golden Goddess. Let's jump into care tips. So as you guys know, in terms of soil composition and soil mix, using an aroid, a really great aroid mix will be best for philodendron, generally speaking, obviously this variety included. So again, just to remind you, I used some peat moss, horticultural charcoal, perlite, and bark. I think that's it. And so something that's really well draining, obviously using a container that has good drainage, and something that provides also good aeration for the root system. Now, I touched briefly on watering a couple of seconds ago, and when you're watering this plant, you can just insert your finger into the topsoil. As soon as the first or the top inch or two are dry, that's a good indication to water your Philodendron Golden Goddess. In terms of lighting, I like to provide this plant, and it's done very well in very bright, indirect light. Obviously, the taller it grows, the closer to the skylight it gets, but it's probably only about 5-6 feet away from that skylight, maybe a little bit more now that I've shortened it a bit. So that should give you a really good idea. The skylight's facing obviously in the southern direction, so it does get really good bright and direct light. If it was a little bit closer to a south-facing window, maybe we would be able to call that more direct sunlight, but because it's offset or set back those 5 or 6 feet, it's more bright and direct light. What else? And fertilization obviously is super important when it comes to philodendron. They definitely need fertilizing. With this plant, I noticed that I had used some slow release pearls, so providing some fresh slow release pearls every year or so or thereabouts is great for these plants as well. And I think that just about does it. If you have any questions whatsoever when it comes to the Philodendron Golden Goddess, I'm glad I started off this series spotlighting this one because, like I said, it's such an easy care plant that just gives so much in terms of its height, its coloration, and just the leaf size is just absolutely stunning. Can't recommend this plant enough. Leave your questions down below and obviously give this video a thumbs up. It's greatly appreciated. One final note, if you are interested in other videos that I've done in regards to this Philodendron Golden Goddess, then check those out. I'll be sure to throw up a link right over here or in the description. So check out the other videos I did on the Philodendron Golden Goddess. Be sure to also check out the Philodendron Spotlight playlist. Now I'm going to be featuring, like I said, other philodendron, and just compared to some of the other philodendron varieties that I have, this one definitely on the scale of easy to hard is definitely on the easy side. So if you are looking for an easy care philodendron, like I said, I can't recommend this one enough. Well, that's it for me. Leave a comment down below. Definitely give this video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Miss you guys already. Until the next one.